Hey everybody, welcome to the Watch and Listen podcast. This is a podcast all about watches, hosted by me, Matt Farah. I am the student, and my friend Cameron Weiss, the master watchmaker and CEO of the Weiss Watch Company. He would be the teacher. On this show, we go into dives shallow and deep in everything we can think of about watches. But first, this episode of Watch and Listen is brought to you by Crown & Caliber. Crown & Caliber is the #1 destination on the internet for pre-owned luxury Swiss watches. From Rolex and Omega to AP, Vacheron, Panerai, Franck Mueller, did I say Omega? Sure, Omega. They've got it all at Crown & Caliber. They've got fair prices, and they have very good trade-ins and buy values also. So if you got a watch sitting around your house, maybe you want to get rid of it, maybe you don't wear it so much, maybe you want to trade up or trade down for some reason, hit up Crown & Caliber. Just go to their website, crownandcaliber.com, hit that buy, sell, trade button, and they'll get you covered. They got you taken care of. I have something for you. I have bought a couple of watches from Crown & Caliber. I have sold a couple of watches for Crown & Caliber. I have been very happy with the experience, and as such, I have a gift for you, my listeners, a discount code worth $150. CAM150. We changed it on May 1st, okay? So if you remember the old code, which I'm not going to say, the new code is CAM150. That's so only real listeners get the code and not like those like code aggregator websites. Anyway, crownandcaliber.com, CAM150, CAM150. And I will get you $150 off any watch. We are also sponsored by Beeline Coffee. It is delicious. I maybe should have had a little more of it this morning. That's why I'm like brain farting on this read. Beeline Coffee it's real car guys coffee, real coffee guys coffee, real watch guys coffee. If you're a coffee nerd, you can taste the difference. You just know. And that regular old crappy coffee that your parents were drinking and that people who don't care about coffee serve in restaurants, that will not do anymore for you. So you've got places like Blue Bottle and Stumptown and Intelligentsia. Now you've got Beeline. Beeline is single origin coffee. It's micro roasted. They have new varieties coming out every month. I got my own roast. Cameron got his own roast. And the stuff is so delicious. Everybody who tastes it is blown away. And I'm trying to get you guys to drink it. If I could like give everybody a free taste of it, I would never have to do another ad read. It was just you taste it and you want it. It's so good. But since I can't give you a free taste, I'm giving you a discount so you can get some for yourself. Code CHRONO at beelinecoffee.com will get you 15% off your entire order, big or small. It don't matter. Code CHRONO, CHRONO at beelinecoffee.com, the official beverage of Watch and Listen. On this episode of Watch and Listen, Cameron and I are talking about straps. This one is an abbreviated episode. Truth be told, we needed something to record for Cameron and I's Crown & Caliber's doing a watch story on us, which is like a video about our watch backgrounds, and so we needed video of us recording a podcast. As it turns out, it was a pretty good show. We didn't know if it would be something that was like, if we were going to use it or not, but as it turns out, this is actually a good show on straps, so check this one out. We go through NATO straps, installing, cleaning, changing, sizing, measuring, all that good stuff about the basics of straps. We don't review any specific straps. We'll save that for a later date, but without any further ado, shut up. I am. Here's this episode of Watch and Listen. Enjoy. Watch and Listen podcast. Here it is. This might be an entire episode or it might be a segment. We're not sure. So if we don't really know how to intro it properly, that's why. I'm Matt Farah. Cameron Weiss. What's up, brother?
Oh, not too much. Same old.
It's a hot
watches.
day.
Lots of watches.
Lots of watches, and every time I feel like you're probably exasperated when we start the show because you've just driven 20 miles in a Beetle or something in LA rush hour traffic.
I was in the big van today.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, the camper van.
That's probably it's hot out. You need air conditioning today.
Yeah, that was my thinking.
The Beetle is it's like, dude, I'm gonna be on camera.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of emails. I think have you since we started doing the show, have you been getting like a bunch of emails about more advice related things than in the past?
Yeah, tons of emails, and I get a lot of emails that don't even. They just have like a picture of a watch, and it's like thoughts.
Thoughts.
Yeah.
Yes, the photo and thoughts.
Yeah.
People send me a lot of these now, and by the way, we appreciate it. We're glad you're enthusiastic for the most part. Hit me up on Instagram at The Smoking Tire. Hit up Cameron on Instagram at Cameron M. Weiss. And, of course, Weiss Watch Company on Instagram. I'm happy to take your questions, but just a picture and thoughts. Like, it's like with cars. Like, give me a direction. You know what I mean? Looking for a watch for these activities or these outfits, and here's kind of what I'm into. Maybe a budget. That could be helpful.
Definitely. The more details, the better.
I mean, if someone asks you for advice and it's like, do you recommend a $10,000 watch or a $100 watch? What do you do?
Yeah.
It's but I'm glad that you guys are all enthusiastic about it. The reason I bring all this up is because one of the questions we get a lot is to talk about straps, changing them and what straps look best with what watches and actually how to take care of leather straps. A lot of people asking about that. And so we've got a master watchmaker here. Oops, and I have left the Instagram page up on our video feed, and I apologize for that. Cameron, where should we start in a discussion on watch straps?
Sizing.
That's a good place to start.
Yeah.
What's the best method to find out what size your wrist is?
Well, I mean, there's sizing for your wrist, but there's also sizing for the actual replacement straps.
Oh, actually,
if you have like 20 millimeter width on a watch.
Good point.
Yeah.
All right.
So first thing, if your watch can accept a standard strap, there are watches that have integrated bracelets that you can't put just anything on, but we'll ignore those for now.
Back it down. Let's talk about a standard watch. Here's a watch. Here's my old Bauman Mercier with an aftermarket leather strap on it that I got from my guy in Turkey. Oh, we want to move your box? We don't need it there anymore.
No, I'm looking to see if I have a little measuring tool. I don't think I have one in this kit.
Well,
nope, no measuring tool.
Most watches, you can just Google like Omega Speedmaster Professional Lug Width.
Yeah,
Lug Width is the term. And
exactly.
Most watches are between 18 and 24 millimeters.
Yeah, unless you go vintage, then you might have some little stuff.
Some really little.
Yeah, and then you can even measure the buckle too.
Right.
So in between the buckle might not be the same as the lugs.
And then you also, because you can do it, they have a taper.
Yeah.
Right? So where, in fact, I think this, can you tell? Yeah, the Submariner's a good, here's an original oyster bracelet from my Submariner, and you can see it's like a cone-shaped.
Yeah,
so
tapers off from the case to the buckle.
Yeah, so I think this strap is 20 millimeters at the case and 18 at the buckle.
Yeah.
It's a pretty common size.
Yeah.
And that's actually what the other one is, the Bauman Mercier, which is nice. It's interchangeable.
Yeah.
And so, okay, so that's lug width is the first important thing, and then it's circumference.
Yeah.
And length.
Yeah. Good thing to do is take a piece of string and wrap it around your wrist,
or just a measuring tape.
Yeah. Well, measuring tape's a little tricky. You could cut yourself. It doesn't form that nicely.
What kind of measuring tape are you using?
If you're thinking of like a tailor's measuring tape, like that would be much better.
One,
yeah.
Not like one for carpentry.
I was thinking carpentry, and those don't work so well.
No.
But if you have a piece of string or one of those little measuring tapes from a sewing kit or something, that's perfect. You can figure out the circumference of your wrist.
Yeah. Most people are like 6.5 to 7.5, right?
Yeah.
That's like what is your size? Normal sized human.
My wrist is gosh, I forget. Maybe like 6 3/4 or 7 inches or something like that.
Like my girl's is real small. Like it's in like the 5s.
Yeah.
Right. And then yours is 6 and a bunch.
Yeah.
And then I think most watches are like 7.5, 7 3/4 like length, but my wrist is an 8.
I'm
So like I'm right on the edge.
You may even find sometimes when you buy a watch with a bracelet and you have to buy an extra link or something.
Well, that's why I was interested after we've had so many AP Royal Oaks come through here that I'm starting to be like, oh, these Royal Oaks are very nice. But then you told me about the $1,000 extra extra links. It's like maybe I need to tap out on that one.
Right.
So yeah, length is important. If you're a big guy like me, you have an 8-inch wrist, you might not be able to buy an off-the-rack strap, actually.
Yeah. In that case, you want to look for the long or the extra long markings.
Right. So I like this particular one, which I got from my dude in Turkey. You order it by lug width and then buckle width and then length of each side of the strap, so you can do fully customized on that.
Yeah,
which I really like because that strap is nice and long. But you can also go with the NATO, which offers
the NATO,
extra length.
You can't go wrong if you've got a big wrist.
Yeah,
small wrist, you'll end up cutting some off, but big wrist, no problem.
All right, so that's how you size it, right? And then when you're going to measure your strap, obviously you need to take into account the size of the case in your total wrist diameter as well, right?
Also, thicker watch straps, they wear shorter.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, here you got a comparison with a thin leather and a thick leather if you want to side by side that.
Yeah, so we got a thick leather one here. So if you take the same size strap that's thick leather, or the same length, and then you compare it to the same length strap that is thin leather, the thin leather one is going to feel loose on the wrist.
Yeah, because of the actual bulk of the strap itself.
Yeah.
I actually, since you've got that, do you want to demonstrate how to change a strap? I think it's time to take that leather off and put on your, because it's about to be summer. It's like hot out. It's time to take, leather is like it's like a winter strap, you know?
Definitely. I switched to the canvas.
In the summer, you go for the canvas, you go for the NATO, maybe you're in the water, you're washing your hands more often, you're sweating, you know. There's something about, is sweating in a leather band good for the leather? Does that help it break in?
It's not good at all.
It's nasty, right?
Yeah, all that, when it gets wet like that and then dries, especially with the salt and everything from the sweat, it's not very good.
Okay.
It's good to, if you want to have a leather strap for the long run, you got to do the same thing as you do with a nice pair of boots. They need to be leathered. They need to be oiled and cleaned.
Oh, we'll talk about that in a second because you actually have some of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because that was another thing people were asking about was like the care of the leather strap.
Yeah.
I also think you really can't treat a leather strap as a permanent accessory.
No, not at all.
It's just not.
It's about, if you regularly wear that watch, expect to replace a leather strap every year.
Every year.
Every year.
That's a lot.
If you're switching between straps, you can make your leather strap last a lot longer. If on hot days you switch it over to something that's waterproof.
Yeah. What if you're like me and you really like when the leather gets aged and actually prefer when it's like a little trash looking? You just do it?
Yeah, you get it to that point, and then,
I'd just be worried about like the funk. You don't want the funk. Like I want it to look old and trash, but I don't want the funk.
The funk comes from water.
Oh, okay.
If you get the strap wet and then you leave it, and that happens multiple times, you get a really nasty mildewy funk.
What if you get it wet accidentally? Can you save it? Can you like bag of rice it, or can you like leave it in a windy area or the sunshine, or what?
Don't put
how
it in
do you
direct
save
sunlight. If you put a wet leather strap in direct sunlight, it's gonna curl up just like a pair of leather shoes will turn into elf shoes.
Okay. So what should you do? Let it dry in the dark?
Not in the dark, but just inside somewhere that it's warm. Put it in your kitchen or something like that, warm and dry, and it'll dry out.
Have you tried the bag of rice?
Bag of rice would probably work, but it might be kind of dusty. It might stick all over the leather,
Okay.
But, you just want to dry it out in a mellow way, and you don't want to continually get your leather watches your leather straps wet.
I bet that's really gross. I try not to wear leather in sweaty situations if I can afford it, because it feels gross.
Yeah, it does. It gets slimy.
It's really nasty. All right, so real quick, Cameron's got the Weiss branded strap change tool.
Yeah,
they sell those at weisswatchcompany.com.
Yeah. You can get your own, and it's actually a solid tool.
It is. You gave me one. I've been using it all this time. Yeah.
I designed this tool after a tool that I was given at Audemars Piguet, and I liked it so much. It was the best spring bar tool I ever used, so I started making them just like that. here in our workshop.
You actually make that. You didn't just buy that from Alibaba and stamp Weiss on it.
We make
you
these.
physically make that.
We make these.
Yeah.
These are turned in our workshop.
It's a very nice tool. I
Yeah.
have one. I like it very much. Okay,
Yeah.
so
go. On the spring bars.
Mind your camera here, buddy.
So the spring bar tip here is a little fork.
I don't know if I can get.
Focus,
oh no, I
there
can.
you go.
I can. I think you can tell.
End?
Yeah.
It's like a really minor fork, little U shape in there, and the spring bars in a watch are like little toilet paper bars. They're spring loaded on either end, just like the toilet paper roll. So you want to be able to take this thin forked end, and I always go from the back.
Watch
If you
your
scratch
angle
something
here, buddy. Get yourself in the middle
There
of that
we go.
camera. There you go.
If you scratch something on the back, not a big deal. If you really want to be careful, you can put some tape or
Yeah, to use
even
like
a cloth around there.
painter's tape or something kind of thing, or like gaffer tape.
There are other tapes, like poly tapes, kind of rubbery tape, that are much better if you wanted to invest in that. But good thing to do is just always do it from the back and firmly hold the watch. Like I really firmly hold the watch, and then I will reach the tool in here.
This is like some tough, thick leather.
Yeah, you can kind of push the leather down a little bit to get a look at the spring bar. I don't know if you can see. If I move my fingers, you can kind of see the gap that comes out there.
Here, hang on. If I zoom in a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you
there
can
go.
kind of see a little bit of the spring bar popping out.
Uh-huh.
And you basically just want to get the tool right in there, like so.
Boom. Like a little toilet paper
Yeah.
holder. And then can I just throw in that when you pull that back, wow, that pin is actually bent. Do you have any extras? Maybe I do.
I don't have any
Okay.
extras, but this might.
Oh, look, your band comes with pins. How
Yeah.
delightful. I think that's probably my fault, the bend. Or it could be that strap is so thick in there that it actually bent it. That's the one thing about that strap that I actually think is, in terms of strap selection versus watches, I think I made a bit of a bad choice using this strap for this watch. This strap is like a very thick strap.
Yeah.
And it really works much better on thicker watches, and that's much more of like a normal thickness watch. And so that's part of the reason I asked you to take it off and put on the much more normal thickness canvas strap.
Yeah. So this has the spring bars.
Yeah, your straps. That's a Weiss strap.
Yep.
Comes with spring bars.
And every time you change a strap,
Yeah.
I recommend new spring bars.
Really?
Um,
Every time? I'm committing a party foul if that's the case. I've not done
they're
that.
so inexpensive. It's good to just buy a little bulk pack of them.
Oh,
Maybe you
yeah.
can go on and get a set of like multiple sizes, 18 millimeters, 19, 20, 21, 22.
Uh-huh.
You can get a little kit that has them all in there.
I'm going to look for that. Hang on.
Because you're bound to be in a hurry one time and you're going
And
to change your
just
strap and then one shoots away. It's gone forever. And so having extra ones is really good. But then also when you do this and you open this up and you see that one's bent, you don't want to put a bent one back in there because it's bent and chances are it's going to break and then the watch is going to fall off your wrist. Very expensive to fix that.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm looking for spring bars right now, a kit. I can't really find one. Hang on. Spring. Let's see. Oh, here we go. No? Spring bar tool
Those are all different
those are
tools and
tools.
things like that.
All right. Oh, here we go. Easy Tools spring bar pins. Here we go. Here's a whole
you go.
bunch. Yeah. 13.
Oh, and a good thing-
$13 on Amazon.
Yeah. For 360 spring bars.
Three. All right. Now
lot
I
of
have
them-
no excuse anymore.
Yeah, and a lot of them you won't use because they're so tiny.
Yeah.
But the larger ones, like the 18 through the 24, you're gonna use.
Yeah.
And you see the 1.8 millimeter diameter.
Uh-huh.
That's a standard diameter as well.
Okay. And that's
So
for like
1.8,
pretty
pretty
much all the watches?
Yeah.
Okay. And
That's
can you any watches you can think of offhand that don't use that?
some dress watches will
Okay.
size down to like a 1.5 if they have a thin leather strap.
Super thin, right?
And then some watches, Rolex sport watches, you're gonna have a special spring bar for those.
Yeah, the Rolex steel bands, you need a unique tool to deal with, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to have a unique tool, but it makes it easier to not scratch things if you have a
Gotcha.
different style tool.
Gotcha. All right, so now it's off, and you have new spring bars in this band. So back on.
So one spring bar is going to go into one lug. And again, I do this from the back in case you scratch anything.
I really can't emphasize enough how similar this is to replacing your toilet paper.
Exactly. That's why I tell everyone that first.
Thing. This gets really fun. Straps are, for the most part, very affordable. And honestly, like, that new watch feeling, wears off after like a month or so. Even if it's a dope watch, you change a strap and it's like a new watch. You get the whole new feeling again, even if it's not an expensive strap or whatever. Like, oh, this weekend, like you change straps for like a weekend. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, I'm gonna go in the ocean this weekend with this watch. Let me put the NATO on it. Like, done.
Yeah, I change my straps weekly, easily. Sometimes even more. So
it's like it's a fun activity. It makes you, if you can't like work on watches, which I can't, it makes me feel like I can almost work on watches.
Yeah.
It's like you're doing something. It's not a lot of responsibility, but you are doing something. All right.
So then, now that you think you've got it in there,
I might add,
and
that looks great.
Right?
It's really good on there. Yeah. I wish I did that a long time ago. That looks great.
Yeah.
At Craniotes' party next week with Baum and Mercier, I'm going to look good with that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Now that watch is ready for summer. Now it's out of winter mode and it's in summer. And so this band is yours. It's canvas and it's got a leather backing. Or is that real leather?
It's Cordura.
What's that?
Cordura is, or my bad. Cordura is the front. Cordura is the canvas material. Lorica is the back, which is
Lorica?
a synthetic. It's basically a rubber material that is meant to feel and look like leather. So it's backing the strap, and it's completely waterproof.
But waterproof, that's the point. Yeah, because we wear those bands in the ocean all the time. And that's like canvas with that back. It's like it feels almost like leather on your wrist.
Exactly. It's more comfortable than the canvas on your wrist.
Yeah.
And also, you can't really have leather on the back of a canvas strap if you want to get it wet and really...
Well, here, how about this one? Here's an interesting solution to this. I just bought this Seiko, which came on, and you can tell me how I did. It came on this rubber strap. This is a gold Seiko Turtle. They call it C3PO. The watch was $315 on Amazon. I was so excited. That's a dope watch for $300. And then it came on this rubber strap with the gold hardware.
Yeah.
And it's not not a bad quality rubber strap, but it's just a dive strap, basic. So I took the buckle off and I went on this Bosporus canvas strap, bring it down, sort of a vintage look, and then the gold hardware buckle on the other end says Seiko on it. And now that watch looks like, like a bell diving watch from like the 1930s or something. Like, so that strap is
that's canvas
over
leather. Or
suede. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. There's a suede in the center with canvas on either side.
Yeah, so it's super soft.
But it's got that leather kind of durability. The downside is I'm not sure I should go in water with that. You think?
Yeah, and this is a cotton canvas. So the cotton will fade. So it's already faded.
It's already faded. Yeah,
but like it could turn white.
That could be cool
over time, like kind of like natural khaki textile colors. I think it's cool. I think a canvas works with that watch really, really nicely. Yeah.
Shall we talk NATOs?
Yeah.
So you say no on this canvas? You say
I wouldn't
stay
take
away
that in
from
the water. Yeah. Because the suede's gonna get stinky, I think.
Yeah.
And even the canvas could get stinky.
That's good news.
Yeah, because the cotton canvas will absorb water.
Yeah.
Whereas the Cordura canvas will get wet, but the actual fibers will not absorb water.
Because they're like synthetic.
Cotton. Yeah, synthetic.
Yeah. Got it. I don't know. Something tells me this particular canvas strap I'm wearing is not going to last me more than a year or two. It's because, look, you can tell the part that touches my wrist when you see through the suede is like a little darker than the part that lays over.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so it is absorbing.
It's definitely absorbing some things.
Yeah. One thing, always, once you've put the watch on the strap and you think you've got it good, do this over a countertop maybe with some towels on it or something.
Wait.
Maybe a dish towel on your countertop, and then you just want to pull. You want to pull on the straps and twist a little bit. Not crazy hard, but enough so that if you did not get it securely fastened in there with the spring bars.
So it comes off
It'll
now.
come off now.
Yeah.
Rather than on your wrist when
Yeah.
you're, outside on the cement or something.
Walking down the sidewalk.
Yeah.
I actually, I had that happen. Before I really knew what I was doing, I had that happen, and I caught the watch. Like it popped off, and I caught it before it hit the ground. Yeah.
That's good luck.
Yeah. Well, I got lucky there. Now, okay, so the NATO. The NATO is like, everyone on the internet is like, NATO. I have on your watch a leather NATO, which I think is pretty cool. It's sort of a little bit best of both worlds, I guess. It's super thin and soft, which I really like. It feels like super good. But I brought some other NATOs as well. I brought two different ones. So like the tricky thing about the NATO is like it took me a while for someone to just show me how to put that on.
Yeah.
It's like, how do I like weave this thing? So do you want to demonstrate the installation of the NATO? It goes over itself, kind of.
Exactly. And this, you don't have to take the spring bars out.
Unless
you're replacing them for some reason. Maybe they're old. And then
I like that you can leave the spring bars in and then just thread it right through.
Yeah. So essentially you've got this extra flap which secures it so that the watch can't just slide down the strap.
Right.
So this one, when it's on there, secures it and keeps the watch from just dropping off the end of the strap. So to take it off, you just want to undo that, and then you can thread it right off of the strap. Whoops. There we go. And you're all set.
Taking it off is definitely easier than putting it back on.
Yeah. But if you've never had a NATO strap on a watch and you get one new, like this one here, you got to undo this so that you've got the two pieces. And then the half section is going to go.
Maybe we should switch angles here. Wait, here. Hold this up to the other camera, so it might be easier to see.
So you've got your strap, and
let's try this.
The front is going to be the full length one. That's going to go towards the front of the watch.
Okay.
Buckle's going to go up at 12 o'clock. So it'll be like this: front of the watch with the long strap.
Got it.
And you're just going to thread that on there.
Up through the top.
Yeah, from the front.
The rabbit goes down the hole at 12 o'clock.
And then it comes out.
And then it goes across the case back and then back up the hole at 6 o'clock.
And you're just going to
pull it all the way through.
Kind of thread this.
I'll tell you something, Cameron. This strap looks kind of good on there, too.
Yeah, it does, actually. The gray and orange with the blue is nice.
That's like an interesting color combination. It's like Gulf livery almost. That sort of works.
And then at the end, you're going to thread this through that bottom piece.
So it makes like a loop around the case.
You'll want to curve it because when it's curved on your wrist, this little metal piece is further down the strap than when it's straight. When it's straight, it's like touching the lug almost.
Right.
You don't want it to be touching the lug, but almost touching is fine. And then once it curves and you put it on your wrist, it'll line up nicely at the bottom there.
Success.
Here, you want to try it on?
Go back. Oh, yeah. All right. Hang on. I have to fix this camera now because we're all janked up again. Oh, boy. Cameron.
But let's say.
So
how about this? You get this, and you don't like that this buckle is all shiny or something.
Wait. Hang on. Let's go what you're pointing at there. Okay. Yeah.
So this buckle is all shiny. And let's say you put it on a watch that has the brushed finish. Like we've got brushed finish on the side here. Get yourself a little Scotch-Brite.
Oh.
This is just a
just
3M
a regular
Scotch-Brite.
for dishes?
Yeah.
For pans?
I don't know if you'd use Scotch-Brite on your pans. Maybe you would. But not the steel wool. Don't get like a steel wool thing.
I would use this on a not on a non-stick pan. Like a regular aluminum pan.
Yeah.
I would. Yeah.
So get yourself
feel free to go ahead on that.
And then you'll just cut it into small strips. It'll be easier to work with than a huge sponge.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can go like this. You can just use straight movements on the top of the buckle and put a straight grain finish on this.
How long would it take to do that? Can you just do
Not
it
very long.
right
I can
quick?
do it right now.
Yeah, let's see it.
It'll be a little hard to do it under the camera, but
well, here we can continue talking while you're working and revisit it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the camera.
I'll go ahead and do this.
Yeah, you keep doing it. What else did I want to talk about with straps? So let's see. NATOs make it easy. Leather is good. Let's see. I don't know what else we have to. Oh, you can do buckle changes also.
Yeah.
So a lot of these websites that sell straps and stuff, like you can actually get like different look buckles or like deployment clasps and stuff, and the buckles are easy. You can literally just change them. That's one right there, and you can change them just the same as you change the other end of it. Some of them screw in instead. Like this one for the IWC strap has a little screw in it there.
Yeah, so it's something like that. You just have to get your little screwdriver set.
Actually, not even. Your little fork tool can double as a screwdriver
There you
for
go.
that. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that for like high tension items, but for like a low, a low little thing. How's that looking over there?
Looking pretty
Is that
good.
looking mildly brushed?
Yeah. I've got
so,
a little bit on the one side over here.
Here, wait. Let's see. Let me see if I can zoom in on that. Oh, that's
So
definitely
you see, over
that's
here we've
totally
got the brush
brushed.
finish.
Yeah.
And over here I haven't finished this side right here. But put a nice brush finish on there.
Yeah, that worked.
Looks
totally.
a little more like sport watch instead of shiny, shininess.
Oh, that's cool. I like
But you
that.
can do that
Dress
even
up
if you
the NATO.
had where was that?
Huh?
Oh, you got the Bomber Mercier on.
I'm wearing it. Do you
But
want to take it
let's say-
off? It says, I don't want you to sand your own name off of this buckle here.
No. But on this, it's got a brushed finish, and if you wanted to maybe patch up that brushed finish, if you had a bunch of nicks in it, you can use this.
Same thing?
Same thing.
And then if you want to make it shiny, you can buff it shiny, I imagine, right?
It's really hard to go from a brushed finish to a shiny finish.
You don't recommend?
I don't recommend it unless you have a professional do it.
Okay.
Because polishing to remove that removes a lot of material. But if you have a polished item that just is worn and it's not high polish anymore,
Right.
you can get something like this Simichrome paste.
Simichrome. Hang on. What's that? Oh, wow.
Ooh,
That's sorry.
Too big.
Zoomed way in there.
So Simichrome polish.
Uh-huh.
It's this pink paste. And what happens is you put it on a clean rag, little microfiber cloth, and it will turn black.
Oh.
Once it's used, it'll show you that you're polishing basically as it mixes with the material, it turns black. So this is a rag that I only use for the Simichrome because if you put this rag with an abrasive, it's going to start scratching all your stuff.
Right.
So I keep it in a plastic bag, separate from everything, with the Simichrome so that it's clean and will not scratch your watch. But let's say you got a little scratch swirl on the bezel here. You could put some clean Simichrome on a clean part of this cloth, and you can just go ahead and like polish away like that.
Oh, cool.
Right on there, and you just kind of want to move around and always polish more area than you're trying to. You don't want to focus right on that tiny little scratch. You got to move around just like anything else that you're polishing. But it's great for removing lighter swirl marks and scratches and things like that.
What do you like for cleaning for actually cleaning leather watch bands?
For cleaning leather watch bands?
Do you bother using anything, or do you
Usually for me, by the time my leather watch band gets dirty, it's time to get rid of it.
Okay.
I usually don't get them too dirty because I switch my straps often. But if I want to make a leather strap last longer, I oil it.
With what? Just
I like the Red Wing. Red Wing makes a boot oil that's just a vegetable oil, natural.
this stuff?
Yep, that's it.
Red Wing natural boot oil.
Yeah. So that stuff is nice because it's not super stinky.
$19.
A lot of oils and things like that can be quite rancid smelling.
Yeah.
And you don't want that on your wrist.
Uh-huh.
But this stuff doesn't smell horrible. And it soaks right in real quick, easy to apply, and it's natural, so you're not going to have like a reaction to it or anything that, like some of the chemical ones that are out there. So that's a good one. You can just kind of wipe the strap with a rag, wipe it clean, and then go ahead and rub some of that on with a cloth, let it dry, and then that'll bring some life back into it, keep it from cracking and getting real bad, falling apart.
And then lastly, this strap that you just installed here is actually very cool looking, but it's kind of stiff. So I know you did this before on maintenance, but do it again. How do we break that in a little bit just before I really get started wearing it, because it's kind of stiff.
When I get a strap and it's brand new and I first put it on, it's straight, and you want to make sure it basically needs to curve right here to wrap around your wrist.
Just for those
really, like,
not
right
watching
lug,
and listening, though, it's right at the lug.
Right at the lug.
Yeah.
So I'm actually wearing a new strap on my watch, and I didn't do that. I didn't have time to do it. I just threw it on my wrist.
It feels a little stiff.
And it feels weird.
Yeah.
But if you just kind of take your thumb and go like this, and you kind of like push your thumb on the bottom of the strap and put that bend right up at the lugs. And it really needs to be like right up at the lugs for it to be comfortable.
Because it goes around your like wrist bone,
exactly,
sort of, and it needs to like...
Usually the watch face takes up most of the front side of your wrist where it's flat. So you just kind of like work that area in, put a little curve in it on both sides, and then it'll be much more comfortable to wear immediately, and it'll break in the way you want it to break in, rather than having a weird crease somewhere you don't want it.
Yeah, and you got to do it that way. If you put a new watch strap on to show off to your watch friend at a watch party, you don't want it to look like you put a new strap on to show off for your watch friend at your watch party. This isn't a precursor to next week at all.
Yeah, so you just kind of work it right there by the lugs.
Let me see.
And it puts a little curve in there.
Let's see if you improved my situation in just those 30 seconds. Actually, I think you did. You did, although in this particular band, it needs to continue to the underside of it. Oh, dude, that's so much better. Even in just the 30 seconds of doing that, is an actual, real noticeable difference.
If you just kind of like work in a curve from the lug area down.
If I spend 20 minutes doing this while watching the last 2 episodes of Better Call Saul tonight, this is going to be perfect when it comes time to wear it. All right. Well, look, I think that's a bunch on straps. Do you have? I mean, we didn't talk much about. Stainless steel straps because they're metal. I don't know what there's to talk about. You professionals polish them.
Yeah, but same deal here though. You've got the brush finish on the subs. Mm-hmm. You can use this to match it.
Oh, yeah.
If you find that you've got all these scratches here that you
that
really don't
very
like,
trashed.
You can do the same thing. And if you have somebody, you can have them actually like hold the thing here, and then you can just...
What if you don't have somebody? What if you bought a Rolex and then you couldn't get a girlfriend and you're all alone now and no one to hold your watch while you polish it? Then you like put on lipstick and do it like they would clean a gun in a bad movie.
maybe some string through here and then like, or rubber bands or something, and then strap it to something. I don't know.
That's hilarious.
Double stick tape, but it'll be much easier if you have 2 hands to go ahead and get the straight lines.
That's interesting. Wait, I didn't know if I was on the right camera. Show that again, because I was on the wrong camera for it.
Yeah, if you're able to have somebody hold it down at the ends, and then you can just do straight lines that are longer, it'll end up with a better finish. Because this would typically be added with a wheel. So the wheel's perpetually spinning as you're moving the bracelet along it, so you have uninterrupted straight lines.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I think that is a solid 30 minutes on straps, my friend.
Yeah.
If you have a question about straps, leave a comment on our YouTube channel. I do read those comments. I interact with people. Some of your suggestions have been excellent. Some of your complaints have been valid. Where I can explain some of those complaints, I do. We're not upgrading the watch camera. It's the one we have is actually pretty good for what's available.
Yeah.
There's been a few people who are like, build a DSLR rig. It's like, nah, dude.
I looked into that and I set it up and everything, but the lenses and the focal point,
it sucks. The manual focus, the whole thing. And I was just last week at Joe Rogan's studio, and he uses the bigger cameras. And Jamie, the guy who runs his show, is like, these things are so annoying. I fight with them every day. They suck. And like, if there's one thing I can say about our little rig here, it doesn't put up a fight.
Yeah,
and that is golden. Thanks for listening, friends. Cameron M. Weiss. On the gram, hit him up. Send him pictures of watches with just the word thoughts. Don't do that. Cameron loves to answer your questions, as do I. But please, if you have a question, just ask it. Don't make me guess what your question might be from an emoji in a picture. Like, just help us help you. And then, of course, I am The Smoking Tire on Instagram. Check out my other podcast about cars, The Smoking Tire Podcast. Buy a watch from Cameron. And if you buy a watch from Cameron on his website, weisswatchcompany.com, what do they get? If
you type in watch and listen into the comments section on the order page, you'll get a complimentary strap and a strap changing tool.
How appropriate for this episode. A Weiss Watch Company strap tool made in Cameron's shop by... Does Grant make these?
Yeah, Grant makes the parts. Grant. And then I hand finish them. They have a brushed finish and a laser mark. And there's a lot that goes into making parts, even simple things like a spring bar tool. To make a good quality spring bar tool,
yeah, if you want to support American watchmaking, but you can't afford a $2,000 American issue field watch, get a spring bar tool. What is it, $50 on your website?
Yeah.
I think it's $50. And I use mine like weekly.
Plus, solid. It's solid brass.
That's
so
nice.
It'll get a nice patina as well.
It will, yeah. And I honestly, I change these straps like all the time. It's like one of my favorite things to do with my watches.
Yeah.
So thanks for listening, guys. Crown and Caliber, thanks for sponsoring the show. Code MATT150, Matt150, get you $150 off any order. I had to clarify a little bit. It's got to be any order over 1,000, and that's because some smart guy tried to use the $150 code off a $150 watch winder and just thought he could get it like for negative shipping money. It's like that just isn't going to work, man. I'm sorry. So, but yes, all reasonable watch purchases. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you later. Bye.